Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rhett Smith from the Proton Guru, and today we're talking about lesson 4.14. We're going to be talking about some oxidation and reduction reactions we can do to change the substituents that are on a benzene ring. We're going to start with a couple oxidation reactions that we learned about for alcohols. If you want to review oxidation and reduction in organic chemistry in general, we talked about this in lesson 2.12, and we talked about the oxidation of alcohol specifically in lesson 2.13. Here we're just going to review those reactions and look at how you can change a substituent on a benzene ring using some of these processes. So just to review what oxidation is. In organic chemistry, oxidation is usually described as a reaction that leads to fewer CH bonds or more carbon to electronegative atom bonds, often oxygen, in the product. So we talked about this reagent, PCC. It stands for pyridinium chlorochromate, if you don't remember from lesson 2.13. And what this does is it is a pretty weak oxidizing agent. It's only capable of getting rid of one CH bond. So we're going to try to make fewer CH bonds in the product. And what it does is it replaces the bond that carbon used to have to the H and allows it to make another bond to the O. So if we take this benzylic alcohol group and we do that reaction, I'll abbreviate the benzene as phenyl, and I will draw the new product like this. So we've made benzaldehyde from a benzylic alcohol. Now, any of these other stronger oxidizing agents we learned about earlier in the course, they're capable of removing all the CH bonds that are on the alcohol carbon. So you take two H's away. That carbon's going to need to make up those two bonds, and where does it get those bonds? Well, the oxidation is a reaction where you try to make more carbon to electronegative atom bonds, in this case carbon to oxygen bonds. So this carbon that used to have just the alcohol on it makes a second bond to that O, and then one of the oxygens from these reagents we'll also add to make up the second bond that carbon lost by losing its two H's in this oxidation reaction. So you've made benzoic acid from the benzylic alcohol. We can also do reduction reactions to change substituents on benzene. And just to remind you that in organic chemistry we can often define reduction as a reaction leading to a product with more CH bonds or fewer carbon electronegative atom bonds, and often it's fewer bonds to oxygen. Well, if we take an alkene, and this one doesn't have any aromatic groups on it, and we react it with H2 and palladium, well, what we can do is just add H's to the two carbons, and we get the alkane. Now this would happen even if there was a phenyl group here that we can draw in. And you'll notice that these conditions don't change any of the CC double bonds in the benzene ring. Likewise, if we take H2 with the Lindlar's catalyst, which we learned does a syn addition of two H's to an alkyne, we again would see that none of the CC double bonds in the benzene are affected. And that's because, as we talked about, the benzene bonds are much more stable due to aromaticity than an isolated alkene or an isolated alkyne. Now, this lesson isn't just about reviewing old oxidation reduction reactions, though. We're going to learn some new oxidation reduction reactions that are going to be useful for transforming substituents on benzene rings. And one thing I want to point out is that manganese dioxide and potassium permanganate are oxidation reactions, where manganese dioxide has a similar type of reactivity to PCC. PCC, remember, on the previous page, is the reagent that's a kind of weak oxidizing agent. It leaves one of the two H's on the benzene ring. Potassium permanganate will do reactions like a Jones oxidation or one of these more powerful chromium-containing oxidizing agents. And other than introducing these manganese reagents as alternatives for the chromium reagents, I want to introduce a different type of reactivity that benzylic sites have compared to sites that are not next to benzene rings. So hopefully you've done the reading if you're following along the order that's recommended in the course. And a benzylic site is the name given to an sp3 hybridized carbon, generally, that's right beside the benzene ring. And the strange thing, or the different kind of thing that happens when you try to do an oxidation using a strong oxidizing agent on a benzylic site, is that you'll actually be able to oxidize even if an alcohol is not already there. And you'll be able to remove all the H's on that benzylic carbon. Just like with the alcohol we already learned, you'd remove all the H's on that carbon that has the alcohol on it. And this will work even if you have some other R group coming off of here. or 2 R groups, as long as you have at least one H on that benzylic site to get the reaction started, even if it's just all H's and no alcohol at all, you will actually oxidize that benzylic carbon and make benzoic acid. Now, if none of these R groups is an H, you can't get the reaction started. So even if you use these really powerful oxidizing reagents, you'll find that there's no reaction. Now, a lot of functional groups can undergo reduction if they're adjacent to the aryl ring as well. And some of these reduction reactions only work for groups that are adjacent to a benzene ring. So let's consider a general structure where I'm not really defining what these elements are. Some multiple bond, some pi bond between X and Y, and some source of hydrogen. It might not be H2 itself, it might be a different reagent, but a typical reduction would be adding an H to each of the atoms that had been pi bonded to one another. So we've seen some of these reactions for an isolated alkene. So this works for isolated alkenes generally, but it will not influence the C-C double bonds that are in the benzene ring. So in this particular case, we have a benzene ring, we have this R group, we used to have the alkene here, we did the hydrogenation, H, H. Of course, there were already 2 H's here that we didn't add. So let's say we added those 2. So in addition, make a chiral center here, assuming the R is not also a methyl group or H. If that is a chiral center, you get a racemic mixture. All right, that works for isolated alkenes generally. If we consider a carbonyl like this, aldehyde or ketone, and we use H2 and palladium or platinum, the same conditions we used here, well, as you might be able to anticipate, we take that CO pi bond and we add 2 H's to that, and if we make a chiral center, this would be racemic. Now, the special thing about this is that this will not work on a ketone like this. No, this has to be a ketone or an aldehyde that's right adjacent to the benzene ring. But this is a pretty interesting synthetic step because you can think about adding this acyl group to a benzene and then reducing that ketone to an alcohol. And that's a way to get an alcohol group next to a benzene ring when we don't know how to put this group on using any of the electrophilic aromatic substitution pathways we know. So we might be able to start envisioning 2-step processes or 3-step processes where we can make molecules we can't access in just one step. Now, similar special reactivity can take place when you have pi bonds between carbon and nitrogen, right? In the previous page, we saw that if we had the carbon-oxygen bond, we could do addition to the pi bond of these hydrogens. So likewise, we can do that if we have a nitrile group next to a benzene. And you can envision that just like an alkyne, if I have 2 pi bonds and I use H2 and palladium or platinum, I don't use, say, a Lindlar's catalyst or something weaker, I'll add 2 H's to get rid of the first pi bond, 2 H's to get rid of the second pi bond, and now I have an amine that I made from a nitrile compound. Now, sometimes when you use H2 and palladium or platinum, it actually reduces the compound and takes the oxygens completely off of the molecule. So if we think about reducing that N by having fewer bonds to oxygen, more bonds to H, and we want to end with a neutral compound, a nitrogen with 2 bonds to hydrogens and a 3rd bond to the phenyl would be neutral. This is also an amine, and remember the name of an amine where the NH2 is directly attached to the phenyl is aniline, is one of these common names for a monosubstitute benzene. Now, there's another way that people commonly make aniline. You can use a variety of different metals. Instead of palladium or platinum, you would use something like zinc or iron or tin. So remember, any of these with HCl as the source of the H, you'll actually get the same product. You get the aniline, same product you would get if you use the H2 and palladium or platinum.